Let's be real. If you're here, you're tired of hearing the same old tips: make a schedule, study consistently, and blah blah blah. That's not what this video is about. Today, I'm sharing the real deal. 5 tips that toppers actually use but never talk about. These tips are not just smart, they're brutal. They'll push you, challenge you, and transform the way you study. So, if you're ready to leave mediocre behind and become the smartest person in the room, let's dive in. But don't skip the video, because trust me, this video is going to be a lifesaver. 1. Learn to ask questions that create clarity. Here's something most students never do: ask questions in class. Let me ask you this. When you sit in a lecture, how much do you actually understand right away? And when you don't get something, what do? Most people stay silent, hoping the teacher will eventually explain it better or that they'll figure it out later. But toppers take charge right there in the classroom. The trick is to ask smart questions. Don't just say, "I don't understand." Be specific. For example, ask, "Why does this equation work in this situation, but not in others?" Or, "Can you give a real-life example of this theory?" This not only clears your doubts instantly but also makes you more engaged in the topic. And let's be real, teachers love students who ask questions. It shows you're interested, and they often give extra help to students who stand out this way. Here's a challenge for you. In your next class, ask one thoughtful question. It might feel awkward at first, but you'll see how much it boosts your understanding and confidence. So, what's stopping you from being the most curious person in the room? 2. Turn studying into teaching. Have you ever noticed how teachers seem to know everything? It's not because they're geniuses, it's because teaching forces them to master their subjects. Toppers take advantage of this by studying as if they're preparing to teach someone else. Here's how it works. After reading a topic, close your book and explain it out loud. Imagine you're teaching a friend, a sibling, or even a mirror. The goal is to make the explanation simple and clear enough for anyone to understand. If you get stuck or realize you can't explain something, that's a sign you need to review it again. This method is called active recall, and it's incredibly powerful. Studies show that actively retrieving information strengthens your memory far more than passive reading. So instead of wasting hours rereading, spend that time quizzing yourself and teaching. Now, let's test you. Could you explain the last topic you studied to someone else without looking at your notes? If not, it's time to try this strategy. 3. Focus on what really matters. Be honest. Do you try to study everything in your textbook? If yes, you're doing it wrong. Toppers know they don't have time to master every single detail, so they focus on the high-impact topics that matter most. Start by looking at your syllabus and past exam papers. What topics appear most often? What chapters carry the most marks? Prioritize these areas first. For example, if you're studying math, focus on the formulas and types of problems that are frequently tested. If it's science, focus on diagrams, experiments, and definitions that teachers love asking about. Once you've identified the key topics, create concise notes. Just 1 page per chapter. Write down only the most important formulas, dates, and ideas. Review these summaries every day. By the time exams roll around, you'll have all the key information at your fingertips. Let me ask you this. Are you spending time on the most important topics? Or are you getting lost in the details? If it's the latter, start focusing on what truly matters. 4. Use mistakes to your advantage. Let me share a secret. Toppers aren't afraid to fail. In fact, they learn more from their mistakes than from their successes. Most students hate looking at their wrong answers. They feel embarrassed or frustrated, but toppers treat mistakes like gold. Here's what you need to do. Start a mistake journal. Every time you get a question wrong, whether it's during homework, a quiz, or a test, write it down. Note the exact reason why you made the mistake. Did you forget a formula? Misread the question? Skip a step? Write it all. Before your next test, go through your mistake journal and focus on fixing those specific areas. For example, If you keep messing up algebraic equations, spend extra time practicing just that. By targeting your weak points, you'll improve faster than you ever thought possible. 5. Practice under real exam pressure. Here's a question. How do you usually study? Are you lying on your bed, checking your phone between problems, and taking long breaks? Be honest, toppers don't study like that. They prepare for exams by practicing under the same conditions they'll face during the test. Here's how you can do it. Grab a past exam paper, set a timer, and solve it without any distractions. Treat it exactly like the real thing. No checking answers midway. No snacks. No breaks. This will train your brain to handle pressure, manage time, and stay focused. If you can't get a full exam paper, create your own time challenges. For example, set a 20-minute timer and see how many problems you can solve accurately. Over time, increase the difficulty and reduce the time limits. By the time the real exam comes, you'll feel confident and prepared. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you truly challenged yourself under exam-like conditions? If it's been a while, it's time to start. And that's it. The 5 game-changing strategies that will take you from average to topper. These aren't just tips, they're tools that work if you put them into action. So, what's the first thing you're going to try? Let me know in the comments, and hey, if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs it. Remember, toppers aren't born, they're made with the right techniques. Start today, and your results will speak louder than words.